discuss the allegations against James Manga, who is a senior prosecutor at the Gambia Police Force, and also a newly nominated member for the newly established Anti-Corruption Commission. This morning, I made a statement, and then my statement was clear and was actually deliberate. Um, for the past few days, I have seen an individual, Dr. Kida Tikani, who is not in any way affiliated to this life, um, made a pronouncement and allegations against James Manga, allegations involving a land deal, and where James Manga was involved, and then also accused of bribery, extortion, and corruption. And when this happened, I did not rush. Actually, I did not rush to make a statement. I did not even speak about it. I did not even like the post made by Dr. Tikani. I have been following the case until today, and I find out that it has been few days since this allegation is made, and these were serious allegations. They were not just mere allegations. These were serious allegations, and they were not against an ordinary person. It was against a senior police prosecutor, assistant commissioner of the Gambia Police Force, and also a commissioner at the only last man standing institution of hope to fight against corruption. That is our newly anti-corruption commission. And therefore, it becomes a public interest, public concern for this case not to be isolated, but to be also questioned, just like any other case of corruption scandal and allegations in the Gambia. And first, I want to clear a few things before I get into the matter. And first is that I will apologize if I go a bit brutal today. I will go a little bit brutal. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to act out of conduct, but I want to um, get the record straight. I feel sorry for the Gambia. I feel sorry that it's sad that people in this country are have big truth seekers and truth acceptance, if I'm gonna call that a right English. First, I did not conclude. I want to make this clear that sometimes I think our educational system fail us, especially if you come to reading, understanding, and comprehension. I've seen people jump to my post that Saibo do not be conclusive. Listen to the other side of the story. And in fact, I'm helping you people I helped you people that were waiting for the other side of the story by calling the other side that was pending to come out and clear the allegations. I did not in any part of my write-up say James is supposed to be prosecuted, James is supposed to be sacked, or whatsoever. My statement was clear from my heading down was that an anti-corruption commissioner cannot be corrupt. Therefore, if the allegations against Almami James Manga are found to be true or are being substantiated through evidence, then he needs to resign, or we will publicly go after him to call for his resignation. How is that conclusive in that context? I think our comprehensive reading, all those passages we read from primary school, Abu di Malufala, and then today is Toboski, Fatu is cooking with the mom. It was meant to enhance our comprehensive skills, but I think that is still lacking. Gambians don't read to understand, comprehend, and then take a position. We only read and jump into conclusions that you are accusing me for. I have never concluded. I did not say James is guilty of the crime. I did not say the crime alleged against James is true. I did not say either of this. I simply said that James should come out and clear himself by virtue of his position both as a police officer and also as an anti-corruption commissioner. How is that conclusive? But I will not waste my time on this. I feel like I don't know if my posts have been the reason why the statement was up or the statement was coming whilst my statement comes. But what is more important for me right now is that James have came out in an attempt to clear himself. This was what was the meant of my post. Because you see what? We need to tell the people, each other the truth. You know, accountability and transparency cannot be a selective tool. And some of you, in fact, just to clear, that are asking for the other side of the story. You are the same people that will rant about state ministers and other officials without waiting for the other side of the story. Because they are state officials. And then if they are accused of corruption and certain issues, we need to call them out, even though we need to further wait for the law to take its course. Oh, we should ask Adam Barrow or the other side of the story, or any of the minister Ahmad Ba, or any of the minister that is accused of corruption. We should wait for the other side of the story. We all wait for the other side of the story and see if there is in any way we will fight corruption in this country. Alinga natiki ya bula. Alinga natiki ya bulan ka tonya fu nyoe. Moma mokong. Mobe juma konna mobe mo konna mobe ka mo balundi nyim banko ka mola harjete mobul mbe nyo konna munela munela tonya fo kada konde content tonya fo nyim banko kan sa o kada komin ko o mu konnante yaldi mun to tonya fo nin a konti bo kada contact konnante yaldi. Oh, now calling out alleged corrupt practices and individual is hate, is hypocrisy. And you think this country will go? Look, I made this post and I will repeat. If calling out corruption and corruption scandal is what will be defined as I am hateful, then I am proud to be one. If that what makes me a hypocrite, I am proud to be one. I am solely proud to be one. Because I cannot call out one state official and then massage the ego of another. I cannot do that. Munuma ko sa. So you know what dega? Do you know what dega collectively? Wala you buy. Right? What is all of this about? Wow, listen to the other side of the story. Wow. Um, what exactly? What side of the story? Who said that it was conclusive? But that is just one aspect of this conversation, right? I think people need to really understand what it takes to read. If you don't jump into conclusions, I got no hate against James Manga. I got no hate against anybody. I remembered I said this some time ago. I think I was on Tonya Keso, and I said I don't hate individual, but I hate corruption. I hate abuse of office. And then whoever falls within the premises of this, I have a problem with you. And in fact, I did not say I have a problem with Manga yet. I gave Manga the eye of the doubt to come back and then um clear his doubt. Right? So coming back to the allegations, um, the allegations against James Manga are very serious and worth questioning and worth a call out for James to actually clear the air. First, James, according to the allegations, was invited by a friend to help him in a land deal. That was a scam deal by one Sekti Janka. And by virtue of their friendship, James decided to pick up the case. And moving forward, we've seen allegations that James took money from the perpetrator, actually the victim, the complainant, filed this case through James Manga. And James Manga was supposed to help him get justice and then get him to the perpetrator for him to recover his land or his money, right? And in return, James Manga was accused of taking money from Mr. Khan, right? Convincing him that he can negotiate with the friend to go into negotiation and then accept compensations, right? And this was an open accusation. It was not hidden, with evidence of the wave transfer and I saw people say, okay, that's just a wave transfer. We don't know the detail of the transaction. But also, we have seen conversations of the number on the wave transfer, right? Is the same number on the text messages where James Manga was threatening Mr. Khan or whosoever he was responding to, you know, about, demanding for the money. Otherwise, he was playing with fire. We've seen that. So even if the allegation that James Manga did not demand money from that guy to twist the case, right? Then why was the threatening part of it necessary? Why was he threatening him? Why? What was the purpose of threatening him? Right? So when these allegations are made, I find it very um um hard for me to be calling out for accountability, for transparency, and then being somebody that believe in anti-corruption campaigns to sit down and ignore because it's James Manga that is involved. And I decided to write about it. And what I wrote was very simple, that James come out to clear himself. And now James did that actually. James came out to clear himself. And what James said, you know, um, is that the allegations against him are lies. They are not true. That he did not involve in corruption. He was not involved in extortion, nor in bribery. Okay. Now I find James' response more problematic than his silence. Actually, I'm not gonna take sides, right? I'm just gonna analyze that. I find, in my personal opinion, I found James Manga's response more problematic than his silence that I broke, if that is the right thing to say, no brags, right? You know why? Now, James Manga is a state prosecutor involved in this case. And James, in his response, have said it very, very clearly that he did not take this case personally. He handed over the case to the investigative unit of the Gambia Police Force. But also, James now mentioned that his involvement was limited to guiding the compliance or the victim so that he is properly guided, right? Now, my question is, when James Manga further in his response to allegations said that he then accepted a request from the perpetrator, that is Mr. Khan, to offer his professional services as a qualified legal practitioner to draft a deed of assignment. First, I want to ask, did James Manga went back to his friend that assigned him this case to tell him that, look, I have forwarded the matter to the investigative unit, but now as we speak, Mr. Khan have sought for my legal expertise as a lawyer, as claim, to to um offer him a documentation. Did James did that? And that's where the problem lies. That is exactly where the problem lies. That you were brought to this case because of a friend who assigned the case to you, asked you to help him so that the perpetrator can be brought to justice or he can recover his resources. And in turn, in the middle of that case, you took a job from the perpetrator. Did you tell the complainants that I have taken an assignment from the perpetrator? That is where your credibility and your integrity began to be questioned. I am given a job by Lamin. It's Lamin that brought me into that case. In the middle of the case, Lamin's perpetrator, who is Omar, in turn offered me a job in the quotation in capacity as a professional qualified legal practitioner. I accepted that job. Conflict of interest. Now, whose interest are you in for in that case? Both the perpetrator and the victim? That itself is unethical of a public servant. It's unethical of a police officer. It's unethical of a commissioner of an anti-corruption commission. Ano yung hindi dega? Ano na tunya po nyo eh? Laming narete ako ko mule sunyaro ke mbulokon. Makoy. Makoy nga nakudoso do. Yeta ini sungo be diamu kan. Ibe laming makoy kan fu tema. Sungo iko sungo ye jo kolola. Ye sungo fana makoy. Yeah. Pero o kole ata sango. Sa ibe jumale makoy le jumale makoy la. O man get lingoti. That is not, that is not straightforward. That is not honesty. That is not ethical. I don't really get the point. So this is my first problem with James when I saw his response, that somebody took you, believe that you are a police officer, even though you are a friend, but you are a police officer, you are a police prosecutor, you are assistant commissioner of the Gambia Police Force. Help me recover my stolen asset or my money from a scammer. You in turn, you want to be proud to tell people that you in turn offer professional services as in your capacity as a legal practitioner. Like seriously, I am not a lawyer, but that doesn't make sense. A lawyer cannot represent two people. And then you have already told the other person that you're gonna help him pursue the case, even not in your capacity as a legal practitioner. But the moment that you told that guy that you're gonna help him pursue this case, there is no way ethically you're supposed to accept anything else from the other side. That being said, that being said, um, James Manga, as a legal practitioner, let's say for example, okay, now James did not extort money from that man, from Mr. Khan. The money he took was indeed true that he offered his professional qualified legal practitioner to offer him legal services to draft a deed of assignment for him. Let's agree that is true. Do you know that is illegal? James knows that is illegal, right? I will read this section for you so that we get the record straight. I am not a lawyer, right? I don't know how my interpretation will sound, but if lawyers are also watching me, you can help me out. If you read section 44 of the Legal Practitioners Act 2016, impose a mandatory duty on every legal practitioner who prepare a legal document to note or endorse or cause to be noted or endorsed on his or her name or the name of the firm by which he or she is employed together with the appropriate address, right? This is not optional. This is a statutory requirement assigned to ensure accountability and professional responsibility in our legal practice. I am quoting the Gambia's Legal Practitioners Act 2016. What Manga did not state for the public record is this, right? Was he employed by any legal firm or yes, legal firm that give him the mandate as per the Legal Practitioners Act to draft a deed of assignment for somebody? Because he, as a lawyer, based on this you cannot you must be a practitioner with a clear address, or you belong to a firm before you can do documentations in the name of being a lawyer for a client. If I'm wrong, lawyers can be watching me, you can correct me, right? So this is what happened. Now if Manga prepared a deed of assignment in his capacity as a lawyer, what requirement of the law says that? Because you are already a public practitioner, right? If you are a public lawyer or a public counsel, That's how you call it. You're working for the state, a state council, right? If a state council, or you work for the police, going by this, are you qualified to do a private legal services for somebody? Whose address are you going to put there? The Gambia Police Force, a lawyer working for the Gambia Police Force law firm, and then the law address there. So there's no middle ground in law. I'm not a lawyer, but I understand that. There's no middle ground in law. It's either you are public or you are private. Then under what capacity that did Manga um, build that law or did that assignment in his capacity, as he claimed in his statement that he was assigned a professional service in his capacity as a qualified lawyer? Because Section 2 of the Legal Professional Act,